Okay, what I'm going to do tonight is spaghetti and meatballs. And I'm going to go ahead, before I have to get my hands all dirty with the meat, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what goes in my sauce. I have 1 can of diced tomatoes that's going in. I have 2 cans of tomato sauce that is going in. Okay, just like that. And then I have my spices that is going in. And I'm going to add some water to it. Okay, my spices, what I have done, I forgot to show you that how to mix it up. But what it is it's about 2 tablespoons of tomato powder, a tablespoon of onion powder. I have some basil, about a little less than a tablespoon of basil, a little less than a tablespoon of oregano. I have garlic powder and all of that fun stuff in there. I think that's all that goes in that. Okay, but if you don't have time to mix up your own spices, there is a season packet you can use. It's at the grocery store in the season packet aisle. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rinse out these cans and add some water to my sauce. Then I'm going to give it a stir and let it simmer. Okay? Just like that. Okay? Now, I'm going to let it simmer so that it thickens up, and you have your tomato powder and your onion powder and basil and oregano and all of that. And I'm just going to give it a stir so that powder doesn't sit all in one place. And like I said, just let it sit back there and simmer. But then this thing. Sit back there and simmer. I'm going to use a little bit more water. A little bit more water. Okay? About 1/2 can. On that one, and we're going to let that simmer on the back burner while I show you how to do meatballs. Now, sorry, had to throw that away. Anyways, I have a pound of ground beef, and I have a pound of mild Italian sausage. I've already cut the wrappers off the sausage, in case you didn't know. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add my spices to my meatballs and line it in this pan and bake them for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour in the oven. And then they'll be done, and then I'll add them to my sauce. And what I like to do, since they're very, very oily when they come out of the oven, I like to drain them on a paper towel so that way you're not getting all that oil in your sauce. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to take probably a teaspoon of oregano and just put it right in there. Okay, and I have a little bit of garlic powder because we like garlic powder, and probably a teaspoon of that too, maybe a little less. I have basil, probably a teaspoon. I'm going to add a little salt, less than a teaspoon, a little pepper. Okay, and then I have the parsley flakes that I'm going to use. A little less than a teaspoon of that. And then I have 1 egg that I'm going to put in it. Get rid of that. And then I have 1/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs. And we can just sprinkle those in there. And those are Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. But if you don't have those, you can also use saltine crackers and just don't add the salt because the saltine crackers already have salt on them. So there you go. And I'm going to take extra virgin olive oil, about a tablespoon, and just kind of drizzle it in before I have to get my hands all yucky. And then I'm going to just mesh all this meat together and the egg. Mix it up really, really good. and kind of fold it in together. And the recipe that I have says to use thyme, a teaspoon of thyme in it, but I don't because I don't like thyme. So, there you go. But you could, but you don't have to. Alright, so now we have all of our ground beef and sausage mixed in together. Very nicely. Let's do it one more time. That way we know that the sausage is mixed with the ground beef. And I mix the two so that it's not so spicy. But if you like spicy, you might not want to mix it with ground beef. I don't know. Alright. Now, there's a little bit of a trick to this. I just kind of sit all the meat lumped up like that and start pinching it off and rolling it into small balls. Like that. Okay? And you want to sit them kind of close together in the pan. And I cook them in the oven, like I said, 45 minutes, maybe an hour in the oven. It doesn't take that long. Just so they're cooked all the way through. But when they get done, it's kind of sticking to my hand. It's going to, but that's okay. Okay. I'm just going to line the whole pan with it, but my hands are gross, so I can't turn off the camera. So, you're going to have to stick with me through this part. You don't mind, do you? Of course not. Okay, just so they're nice and round. You can also do a meat sauce and just use ground beef. I'll do one video like that at a different time when the family gets ready to have spaghetti again, which might be a week or two. Like I said, this is really good. Something different. That way it breaks up what we've been doing. Because I know I've been doing a lot of other recipes that require chicken. So we are now tired of chicken. My little girl said I should do a book on 125 ways to cook chicken. Maybe she's right. I don't know. But these are good in spaghetti, or you can take French bread and make meatball sandwiches out of them. That's why I don't mix the noodles in with the sauce. I kind of keep them separate. That way, you know, if you want spaghetti, you can have spaghetti. If you don't, like tomorrow for lunch, then you don't have to eat spaghetti. You can have a meatball sandwich. And that's a good little idea. You just take some French bread and cheese. If you like cheese. If you don't, then no cheese. Make a nice sandwich out of it with the sauce. The sauce tastes pretty good with it. Okay, that one needs to be a little smaller so they all cook about the same. You kind of want to make all the meatballs about the same size, excuse me, so that they all cook at the same time and they're all done. So you kind of want to relatively make them the same size. They don't have to be perfect, but, you know, make them all about the same size. Mm-hmm. And this pan will make usually about 30 meatballs that you'll add to your sauce, and it's really tasty. Yeah, about 30. Sounds a little bigger, but that's okay. And if you've enjoyed what I've cooked so far, I know a lot of people have viewed it, but leave a comment. Tell me what you want me to cook next. Tell me what you would like to see me cook. Because I don't know unless you tell me. And whatever it is, I'm sure that I can cook it. I'm sure that I can. I have a lot of recipes. Enough to keep me busy for a while. But if you like what I'm doing, you know, subscribe, share it with your friends, with your family. Do it at home. And you can also freeze these meatballs. Just so you know, you can do this ahead of time and stick them in the freezer or stick them in the refrigerator for when, you know, you get home, and they'll be ready to go right into the oven, because I know this is a little time consuming. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Today, obviously, I'm not. Because I wanted to show you how it's done. Or how I do it, anyway. I might have made some of these a little bigger. That's okay. And like I said, just let your sauce simmer. That way your sauce is already done. All you have to do is throw some noodles with it. Or you can have meatball sandwiches, however you prefer. But yeah, I would really like your input and your comments. Sorry, the phone is ringing. So anyway, I would really like your comments and input. I'm just going to fill up this pan and pop it in the oven. 350, like I said, for about 45 minutes. Not bad at all. And I don't put aluminum foil over the top of this pan. I just don't. You can if you want to, but the meatballs are not going to brown as nicely. I like to get them nice and brown. And that will do it. And leaving a you know, nothing over covering the top of it will get them nice and brown for you. And this way you don't have to stand over the top of the stove and do each individual one and cook each individual one. You know, this just makes it easier. Just do it in the oven and all done. Okay. So I just pinch off the meat and roll them up. And put them in the pan, and that usually works out good. So anyways, I have almost, these are not all the same size, so I'm going to make them all the same size. See, it's okay if you mess up. It shows that you're human. Alright. I'm just going to do it like this, because I made them a little too big. We'll fix those. The nice thing is you can fix it. Okay, now they all fit in the pan. Roll those up. Wash my hands and I'm ready to cook my noodles. Okay, now okay, sorry for that. And listen to me wash my hands. But like I said, this goes in the oven. So they look delicious. Okay. We're going to set the timer for about 45 minutes. They might have to go an hour. Okay.